But anyway, we are going to continue this randomizer. We are actually pretty far along. We only need 2 more items. We have the fire and ice arrows, which are in a set, and the light arrows, which are hopefully not going to take too long to find. But knowing my luck, will probably take a long time. So we have 2 really quick checks that we will take care of with the spoils bag. Off screen, I did go through and collect all of the spoils we need for all the checks in terms of that. So we'll clear out some of these. None of these will take terribly long. Do I just present this? Apparently we need 15 green chew jelly for this. There's also one for a blue chew jelly, but I think that's considered a long side quest, therefore is turned off for this particular seed. I've never seen this before, I'm pretty sure. I don't think I've ever done this. Maybe like once on my first or second playthrough of the game period, but I almost never actually do this part of the side quest. Yeah, I don't remember ever seeing that scene before. Not to say I've never seen it, but just it's been a million years since I've actually done this. It probably has been about 15 years or so since I played Wind Waker, and we got bait out of it. That is extraordinarily not worth it, to be honest. So we have that, and we have the 40 Joy Pendant check, so I did get the remaining 20 or so Joy Pendants that we needed. I also stocked up on rupees, by the way. Off stream, I did also get a ton of rupees and deciphered a bunch of the Triforce charts. There's 2 left, I think, that I didn't decipher, actually. Alright, let's see what this is. It is an orange rupee that we cannot carry. But again, after this, we don't really have anything that requires rupees, so it doesn't really matter that we ended up losing out on some then. That being said, I should also go and decipher the last 2 charts that I am thinking about it. 1 more chart to go, and then we'll be set to move on to something else. It would almost be interesting if these could also be randomized, but I don't think they can, actually. I think my general plan is going to be to sweep along, like, 1 row at a time, for the most part. This might be a little bit inefficient, actually. We might also do the Forest Haven, because we'll be passing by there before too long. But I haven't really decided, actually. Hypothetically, we could finish this randomizer seed tonight, because of the amount of checks we have left, it's not outside the realm of possibility that we just get the arrows right away and can actually just, take care of the end game. But on the other hand, there are still a ton of other checks left, so hypothetically, it could be at the end of the 78 or so locations that it says are still possibilities. I'd prefer it to be on the lower end in terms of the amount of checks we have, but again, that is a possibility. Another we could check is also the Master Sword location is apparently a check. And it's a rupee, okay. So I'm used to the Wind Waker HD controls where like pressing A activates it instead of pressing the button again. Like, you use the D-pad button to actually activate it, and then you press A to lower it. So, a little thrown off by that, I think. Alright, so this one is actually tied to a Triforce chart. So, there's a chance that this could be something really good, or maybe I'm just being superstitious, and it'll just be an ordinary item. And we have a yellow rupee. Something tells me this is going to be how it is for a little bit, as we make our way through the charts. Alright, we're going in the right direction. We also don't have the mirror shield. We don't need it for anything except a couple of extra checks, like obviously dungeons. I'd prefer if we don't have to do the Earth Temple, personally. But something tells me we'll have to do the Earth Temple, just because that is my least favorite. Probably in this game. I don't know if it actually is. Truth be told, it's like Again, I feel like the Tower of the Gods is just a little bit slow in the first half, and also because of having to play the command melody so many times, but I actually don't mind it too much beyond that. Earth Temple is mostly redeads. Not really a fan of the redeads in this game. It's always the irony of Wind Waker having, like, scariest redeads, even though it is the cartoony game in the series. And it's more rupees. We're gonna max out the wallet again, aren't we? We're also missing the max upgrade for that, so that's something else I'm wondering if we'll even get. Again, hypothetically, we could be done with this really quickly, but again, I know my luck. It's probably gonna be the full, like, 3-hour stream, and we'll still be missing the arrows we need. If I can just get one of the arrow upgrades today, I'll count that as a win, genuinely. Because that's how unconfident I am in my luck, that I fully expect we'll have to go through all of them in order to actually, like, get just the one item, or 1 or 2 items we actually need. There it is. Yep, that counts. Again, I might have played Wind Waker too many times if I'm able to just eyeball, in a lot of cases, how close I need to be to actually get a chest. Like, I can just kind of eyeball, like, where I need to park the boat. Piece of heart. This has been fun, though. Again, randomizers are entertaining, in my opinion, because they kind of force you to approach a game that you might have played a ton of times in a very different way. So obviously, this time we're having to approach Wind Waker in a much more fluid sense, a lot more open-ended. Alright, so that is the last chest here. Then we'll be moving on to row 2, going from bottom to top. But unfortunately, that also has the problem of we are missing a treasure chart for the 5-Eye Reef, it looks like. We also could stop and do the Forest Haven. That's the other thing I'm contemplating right now, is do we try to knock this out? There's also, like, one I don't know where it is. It says, like, small tree, or small island chest. I don't know where that actually is, because I don't remember that being important beyond, like, rupees. Therefore, I can't remember the last time I've gotten out of my way for it. I mean, it might be a piece of heart, actually. We'll have to see when we get there. I feel like that one might be kind of important, actually. I don't think that's close enough, actually. Nope, never mind. I'll eat my words. But yeah, looking through, we've done 3 of 6 dungeons. Nope, that is not good. Yeah, sometimes you can get, like, fake out treasure chests. Okay, that cutscene cut off really abruptly for some reason. I don't know what happened there. I do feel like there's some merit in trying to get the Triforce charts first. Again, that might be a gambler's fallacy thing, in all fairness, but it almost feels like it would make sense to stash more important stuff in the Triforce charts compared to the ordinary treasure charts. But again, it's pure random, so that's just a bit of superstition, basically. Yeah, there's a couple of small islands you can actually glide to, so that does raise the question of which one has the chest we are looking for. It does give a little faint hum of a song to kind of indicate that, like, you're close to it, but again, sometimes you need the actual chart to figure out the exact location of it. I also never marked the compass and map in the Forsaken Fortress, or any of the dungeons, really. We had to have gotten all of those because we finished the dungeons. There are no more checks left. But now I'm curious about something as we fight this Octorok. Yeah, it doesn't even seem like in any setting there's anything tied to the Nintendo Gallery, which is very fortunate, I'd say. I actually don't know if you... And yeah, you could, because Errol is in the pirate ship as we saw before, so this would actually be possible. It just would be very time-consuming, and also a little bit painful having to go through, like, every photo to do that. But the other problem with that would be, you also have, the problem of in this version, you can only hold 3 photos at a time. In HD, you can hold a lot more, so that's another downside of this version in particular. Again, there's a lot of quality of life, arguably the most of any of the remasters they've done. Maybe even more than Ocarina, I'd say. Like, Ocarina 3D does have some quality of life improvements, but I would say fewer than this, to be honest. It's also probably the most ambitious, though again, I have a feeling if you took out the bloom in HD, it actually probably wouldn't look that different, if I'm being honest. At least that's my gut check on it. I personally don't think it would be that different looking. It's just mainly a lighting change. I don't even know if the models are that different, in all fairness. Oh shoot, I pressed the wrong button there. That's awkward. Luckily, these do restore your magic a little bit, so it's not the end of the world that I screwed up there. This is actually my least favorite dungeon approach of this game, though, just by the nature of having to do a very precarious glide to actually get to the Forbidden Woods. Like, this is definitely one of the tougher glide sections, I'd say. That's mandatory, because obviously you have the flight challenge. You know what, I should have done this sooner, because these also give you gold feathers. This would have saved me a lot of, like, I wouldn't have had to grind out gold feathers if I had just gone here first. So that was a miscalculation on my part. It says there's a chest in here, and I'm like, where the heck is it? Never mind, it's the thing I just opened up. Also, I didn't need to farm all the green choo-choos, because, there's, like, so many in this dungeon. So again, I probably should have just done this sooner, to mitigate having to farm items as much as I did. Alrighty, I like this. It's kind of like a small Deku tree in a way. Like sort of a fake Deku tree, because it kind of looks like it has like eyes and a nose. Makes me wonder if it is like an alternate Deku tree of some sorts. But yeah, we actually can skip a lot of this dungeon by nature of having the boomerang. We don't have to fiddle around with the little things you have to toss at the things guarding chests and doors and such, the vines basically. We can just use the boomerang. You know, something else I'm thinking about, which Zelda has the most items outside of dungeons? So for example, you got the Deku Leaf and like the Iron Boots, the Ice and Fire Arrows, the Power Bracelet. You get all that stuff outside of dungeons, and like, which Zelda game would actually have the most item checks not within dungeons, or like key items within dungeons, like equipment? I feel like it would probably be Skyward Sword, actually, because there's one, a lot of items in that game, and two, a lot of setup. It's something I really realized going through Tears of the Kingdom, I want to say, where like, dungeon approaches are something I really like in the series, actually, and Skyward Sword and, obviously like Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, I think do the best job of having the approach to the dungeon feel like a challenge in itself in a way that almost feels like it's still part of the dungeon. Like, if you boil down the like dungeons in Tears of the Kingdom to just the dungeons themselves, I almost feel like that's not entirely what was intended, because I do almost feel like there was some intention to have the lead up to also feel like a dungeon. Specifically, I think of like the Zora Temple in Tears of the Kingdom. All the build up to that almost feels like a dungeon in itself with some of the puzzles. I'm pretty sure I don't want to knock this down yet, though. That's my gut check at the moment. So we will leave that for now and see where else we can go for now. There's one down here. These don't really hurt you, they just slow you down, so you don't have to worry too much. Joy Pendant, that is very useless. This has to be a key, right? We're running out of places to look for keys. There has to be one here, I think. I almost feel like, in general, the items that you get in dungeons are more specific to Wind Waker in a way, like the grappling hook. At least this was the first game to have the grappling hook, though it did show up later on as well. But that doesn't really hold up because there's also the arrows, obviously, that's in every game. There's the boomerang. Okay, we might have a problem here, actually, if we don't find a key before too long. So yeah, I really take that back. It's mostly just the grappling hook as a new item. Most of the dungeons do have returning items. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's only for getting back up, so it won't really be a problem. There's also this that we can actually do out of order. Like as soon as we get the boss key, we can just go do that. We really don't have anything stopping us at the moment. This should be the double moth yellow room, right? Yep. Again, I really should have just saved all the item collecting for this stream. But again, I wanted to save time, ended up actually costing more time than anything. It'd be funny if this was the boss key, just because then we could just go straight to it. Though that means we'd also have to go back over to this dungeon later, so it wouldn't really be worth it. There's only one key in this dungeon. That's also interesting to note, because again, I thought there were only like one or two, so yeah, looking at the tracker, there is only one locked door, not tied to like, you know, just vines covering it. So, a very interesting dungeon. A lot of dungeons in Wind Waker feel very different, for better or worse. Again, there were some that were just outright cut, for example. Well, one that was cut, the, whichever one would have tied into Jabun, or Great Fish Isle. I do wonder how late of a change that was. For example, if like you were supposed to get bombs in that dungeon, and that would totally change up everything. Because if you don't have bombs, then, or if you got bombs there, then that takes away the entire Windfall detour. So I would be curious to see what the actual concept for that would have been. And there's this whole ordeal. Actually, right over here should be the Tingle chest, so we'll stop and get this one. I actually don't know if it's on the minimap normally, since it's tied to the Tingle tuner, traditionally. So I actually don't know if this would appear, or if it would be hidden out of sight normally. And there's the key. Really weird place for that to be, actually. Hi, Storm. Thank you for the redeem. Again, I need to voice train more in general. I also feel like I need to come up with other things to say than just, the old reliable of heat from fire, fire from heat. See, like, I can do that really well, and then I immediately fall out of it. I don't know how to maintain it, mostly just because maybe I just sort of slip into a more femme voice just to say that one part, and then kind of fall out of it because it's not comfortable to maintain that for very long. But that is something I actually, you know, actively need to think about more and get better at. Though, again, even right now, I don't think my voice is in terribly, like, particularly, you know, poor shape or anything. It's just a personal preference thing where I almost do feel like I wish it was a little bit lighter, but also I feel like I have to put a lot more thought into just kind of maintaining this tone of voice constantly. So while I'm playing a game, it gets a little bit tough because then I have to actually think about multiple things at the same time, which can be a little bit tricky because I tend to lose focus very much when trying to like do multiple things at once. One of the fascinating things about trying to stream is trying to get better at juggling activities, basically. I don't know if this even sounds good, or if it just sounds a little bit forced or not. Because I can't hear myself besides my own voice, like the way I hear myself inside my own head, which is always a little bit off from what it sounds like to everyone else. Not bad. So this should be the big key normally. You're doing good there, keypad. Thank you, I see. Also, hi. Well, we have the boss. Oh, there it is. I forgot this actually after getting the key. Big key chest. Again, I really didn't need to farm out all those items in the end. I could have just moved on with my life. That's another game I'm tempted to stream again, is Strive, just to get better at it. And I almost feel like having to do it on stream would keep me from getting as salty, because if I'm having to, like, you know, perform in a sense, I might kind of, like, not get as salty as I would otherwise, but who knows. It is weird actually kind of getting this invested into the game though after, like, what, 4 years almost? It's this interesting situation that I kind of experienced a little bit with Smash Bros. Ultimate. Again, I've talked about this before, but I really didn't get into Ultimate until, like, Joker to start out. And then also Pyra and Mithra was when I really got into Ultimate. Even then, I kind of bailed eventually, just because the netcode in Smash is so, like, notoriously not good, so I kind of bailed pretty fast on it still. But again, Pyra and Mithra was the most I had ever invested into Smash Ultimate. Yeah, that's my one request. Like, whenever everyone's like, what do you want to see in the next Smash Bros? My answer is rollback. That is literally it. Again, I'd love for anyone to help with the netcode of that game. So yeah, when people ask me, like, what do you want to see out of the next Switch? And everyone's like, I want them to bring back Street Pass. I want them to bring back Miiverse. My answer is, I want Hall Effect sensors, because I do not want drift to be as prevalent as it was this gen. I want everyone to switch to Hall Effect. Because even like PS5 and Series X have a lot of drift issues. They're just not as reported as much because they're like marginally more like stable than Joy-Con analog sticks. But that's not really saying a whole lot. Weirdly enough, I've always had more problems with PS controllers than Nintendo. Like, my PS4 controllers and PS3 controllers all drifted, like, really fast. I want to say I had a DualShock 4 for PS4 that drifted within, like, a year. It was, like, the fastest I've ever seen a controller drift, but it also went through very unique circumstances, shall we say. I'm not sure if I should elaborate, because that's a whole ordeal of my life that I'm not sure if I want to recount on stream. Also, I do apologize if I sound really off today. It's partly just because I am feeling not great health-wise, because there's like a huge storm in the area, and that tends to mess up my respiratory system quite a bit, just like air pressure rising and dropping. Alright, so we have this boss now. This one isn't too bad, though. Again, I actually forgot to look up if the Master Sword makes a difference for boss kills or not. You can one-cycle this pretty easily, normally, I'm pretty sure. But again, I can't tell, because sometimes it feels like the Master Sword does more damage, but other times it doesn't. Wow, that's, again, similar to, one of the other bosses we fought that is actually objectively worse, because it's a fourth of what we would normally get from this fight. So that was really not worth it. We didn't get a single, like, main item in the entire dungeon. It was just rupees. We're back up to 1,000 already, and that's, like... that's after, like, 14 treasure chests or something. And the treasure chart. That is not particularly helpful. So yeah, I think we'll stick to the same pattern. Also, we're kind of screwed over here. I'm just gonna save and quit, because I think I'll be faster than swimming over, to be honest. Huh, there's a beam of light here. This is new. I don't know where this goes. This probably goes to the Forbidden Woods, right? Yeah. Which means I'm actually, like, stuck again, and now I'm gonna be all the way across again, so I need to save and quit a second time. But I mean, it's cool that they give you that option. It's just unfortunate that I did not think that through very well. Which letter even is this? This is probably from Orca, right? Oh, this is a little bit late. What's the requirement for this one? Forbidden Woods. So yeah, we're getting this letter after actually giving him the Knight's Crest, so that's very awkward. It makes sense that to give you this now, though, because of, getting the... Oh, well, wait, you'd have the grappling hook anyway. So yeah, there's, like, no real reason to give it to you now, or give you that letter now, other than maybe you'll be running into Darknets, sooner at this point compared to in Dragon Roost, where there's not really a chance to see Darknets to get items from. Again, the logic is kind of interesting to see, like what unlocks when is a fun part of randomizers.